yeah, no, if something does go wrong, I can go back to 2019 where nothing happened with my van, but I lost a rear wheel off my car.
Oh, wow.
That's
a problem.
Fortunately, it happened just on the edge of phone service, so I was able to get a message through.
Yeah.
So I messaged Steve Zammit.
Steve Zammit, yeah.
Because I knew they were coming out from Brisbane.
And what did he do for you?
Picked up a new brake rotor.
Yeah.
As he was coming through Dalby. They didn't have any wheel studs available.
Yeah.
So Mandy and Rowley were in Longreach.
Oh my God. These are other members of the group we just spoke about.
Yeah, so they went chasing around trying to get me some wheel studs and nuts.
Are you serious? I didn't know this story. This is nice.
And by 9 o'clock the next morning, we were back on the road, 100% operating. And
that's so amazing. What a nice story.
So,
I didn't know that story.
It's things like that people in the group will go out of their way to help you. You get a message to them. And no, I think Mandy and Rowley, I didn't actually know them at the time.
Yeah, wow.
They just saw her on Facebook and went,
that you needed a hand.
We can help.
Hello and welcome to the Off-Grid Down Under podcast and video series.
Hey guys, Melissa here and welcome to Off-Grid Down Under. I have got a very special guest, someone I just bumped into at the Brisbane, where we're in the factory warehouse here. We came in this morning and someone's come down from Cairns. Got the very, very special Daniel Easton, who is also the head honcho of the MDC and RV Owners Group. One of, I know, but you are the main man. And it's really exciting because we're sitting in your caravan right now, aren't we? Yes. What's it called?
It's a XT19HRT.
Exactly. And the special thing about this is that it was actually the first prototype of its kind. Yeah. There's always an interesting story behind that, which you're going to tell. Yeah. But I thought it would make a really fun interview. We've talked about the Owners Group before, so we'll talk about that a bit. But we really want to do a bit of a, owner user guide of a caravan and talk about some of the modifications you've made and also some of the suggestions that you've made to the company about making improvements, which is really great. So maybe let's just talk about your history, I guess, first of all the vans and camper trailers that you've had with MDC and how you ended up in this big spectacular thing.
Yeah. Basically, what was that, back in 2013? We'd been using a tent and got sick of a tent. So
who's we? Let's just put some clarity to this.
That's my wife Lydia, who's also an admin on the owners group, on the MDC Owners RV Owners
She's
group,
really the head honcho, actually.
Yeah. And so we decided to go a different path and go down a camper trailer. So I started looking at those. Didn't know much about them at all. There was obviously a lot of brands out at the time.
Was this 2013?
2013. So Cairns once a year gets a home and lifestyles show, I think it's called. But
because you live up in Kuranda.
Yeah. At that time we were in Port Douglas. So,
okay.
Yeah, a bit further out. But so I basically came down on the Friday to have a quick look before it got packed out on the weekend. Came back on the Saturday. Came back on the Sunday. I think by that stage it was sick of me and bumped into Vaughan for the first time. And
Vaughan, who is the owner of MDC.
Had no idea who he was, but he gave me a good offer, so I took it.
That's excellent. What'd you buy?
So we got a Gal Extreme off-road. It had the MDC 08 tent, which I believe yourself and Steve used to own.
I'm very familiar with that.
Massive thing that came out both sides of the trailer.
So you had yourself, Lydia, and did you have a dog at that time?
Yeah. We had Lily, Lily, a little staffy. That's
who you're patting right now.
Yeah.
You don't normally sit like this.
No. And so she had her own little room off to the side there, and then we had a bigger area.
Lily, not Lydia.
Oh, Lily, yeah. Lydia if she was misbehaving, but
oh God. Lydia, no.
That was huge, and once you put the awning up on that, it was massive.
It's a monstrosity. So just to put it in context, we had that as a family tent, and so we had myself, my husband, 5 kids, plus a niece or a nephew, plus 2 dogs.
Yeah. Plenty of room.
So you got sick of setting that up after a while?
Sort of, yeah. Basically decided for a change, and the opportunity that came up to get a demo or an X-demo was XT10 they were called at the time, then changed to an XT12, which is no longer a current model, but I was able to pick that up and was keen to tow it through the teletrack up to Cape York.
Unreal. How'd
a trip plan. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
There's videos floating around of it. all over the place there of going down some of the crazy
Oh, you
drops
didn't.
and creek crossings. And
Oh my God.
yeah,
Wow.
so it's a no, we love that van. We did Cape York twice. We did Savannah Way probably 3 times.
Wow.
The Kimberley,
Oh,
Tanami,
wow.
Birdsville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact amount of Ks we did in that. Somewhere near 30,000 Ks.
You got no problems driving, do you?
No, no.
Oh, that's excellent. And then what? So that was what was that? The XT12?
That was the XT10, which
10.
XT12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then looking for a little bit more comfort, and we started doing more outback trips.
Yeah.
So size sort of matters in that sort of thing there. That you can get away with a bigger van. So
Yeah.
that's when the XT17
Yeah.
HRT.
Yeah.
So that was 2017 from memory.
So that's your third one?
That was my third. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, basically had that up until last year.
What was the conversation? How did you end up with a prototype of the 19?
Something along the lines of, we've finally got something that you might be interested in, but you've got
Yeah.
to keep quiet about it. So you need to tell me more about it.
Yeah.
So then I got photos and a little bit more info, and everything was still pretty sort of hush-hush at that time.
I know, it was a big unveiling kind of at the Big Red Bash, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it being a prototype, and it hadn't even arrived in Australia, you never know whether it's going to
Yeah.
make it or not. So the 17 was always the backup. So we towed that down to Brisbane and weren't quite sure which way we were going, and everything worked with this one. So
Yeah. Fantastic. So tell us then about, so this is the luxury model, this is it. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and you'll just point out there are some differences in this that you might see in this video. It might look a little bit different to what's actually being sold at the moment. And that's because what we do at MDC is we actually listen to what the MDC owners have to say and your feedback. So what was some of the features that you love about this versus some of the things that that are different now that because of your suggestions?
I mean, I love everything about it.
Yeah.
The production model is this and better
Yeah.
as such. There's small things like a cutlery drawer. This one's missing a cutlery drawer, whereas the production model has a cutlery drawer. A few things move around, and I mean, I don't have them, but wireless chargers now next to the bed, so you can just put your phone on and they charge through the night, and you can pick it up and
Yeah, that's good.
don't have to worry about a cord. Different fridge, from what I understand. It's a better laid out fridge with a
size
separate fridge freezer as such, whereas this one's just a single door. But
Microwave looks like it's up the top
yeah,
now.
microwave's moved up the top, so that's given room for the drawers to go in with the cutlery and that. I think one that I found in Birdsville, and this was a tester for it, is this one's got a 3 kilowatt diesel heater in it. And even in 5 degrees we were cooking. So there's no point going that big. So as far as I understand, the new one's gone to back to a 2 kilowatt
Yeah, that's good
system
feedback.
there, which we couldn't get this one low enough to leave it on. So we basically had to turn it off, and then hours later you'd have to be freezing cold. So
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the new one, as far as I understand, has gone to that smaller unit that allows it to, if you want to leave it on all night long, you can hold that comfortable temperature.
So let's talk about that actually, because you mentioned like we were in Birdsville last year, so that's a big chunk of time that we're off grid, and then we're access to power. So how did you go a big luxury caravan like this, actually utilising the solar power and the lithium batteries? How did you go? How long do you reckon you can take this out and not have to rely on any other power source but the sun? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've had it. No, if you're travelling, or even if you're sitting solar-wise, the production model's got a lot more solar than this one. I think I'm 875 watts.
Yeah.
The production's 1125 from memory.
Wow. Yeah.
So there's a big jump in solar there. They also run that through 3 projector DC to DC or
Talk
IDC.
to me like a normal human being, Daniel. What does it mean? What can I
the
run?
controllers. So
Yeah, I understand, but what can I run? If
What
I've
can
got
you
that
run?
much power, what can I run?
you can run a coffee machine, as I've got one over there.
Love it.
We're sitting here in aircon at the moment,
Yeah,
and not
it's
plugged
very,
in.
very comfortable. Yeah, it's
So
true.
aircon is running.
Yeah.
If you've got a blender, a toaster, or whatever, obviously you've got to sort of look at the power requirements of that particular unit. But yeah, this will run 2,000 watts.
Yeah.
Whereas the production model has 3,000 watts, so you've got even more. And from what I understand of the specs on that, my 2,000 watt has a peak of 4,000.
Yeah.
And the 3,000 has a peak of 6,000. So when things start up, they can use a lot more power.
Yeah.
So
like a blow dryer, like a hair dryer.
Yeah.
Can you use a hair dryer?
Yeah, I've got one in, well,
Oh my God.
mine. But yes, you can use a hairdryer.
Wow, now you're talking. I think there's a lot of women out there getting very excited right now because my experience of camping is that, it's always back to basics, and it's always humble things like a hair straightener or hair dryer, like for us ladies.
I haven't tried the straightener yet, but
I
said, just look at the power consumption and
but that's really good to know, and you can operate your coffee machines. That's really cool to know.
Yeah.
How you do some good camping trips, like you get some good chunks of time off.
Yeah.
But what's the longest time you've gone yourself personally in this caravan without having to plug into anything?
Probably 4 weeks.
4 weeks, seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's travelling as well, so
Yeah,
it
so
charges while you're driving.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's using coffee machine and not being overly conservative. Starlink running as well, so that uses a bit of power.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, we've got as long as you've got conditions, sun helps.
Yeah, because we had that stint at the Big Red Bash last year, which was so much rain. That was like 3 days of solid rain.
Yeah, we had 3 days of rain, not really driving, so that was the first time I actually hooked it up to generator. Because, for lack of a better word, I saw 50% and I shat myself. Because coming from AGM batteries, 50% is you don't want to go below. So with lithium, though, you're only halfway. So
is that the case? Okay.
Basically, yeah. So
that's good to know.
you've got a lot more that you can use.
And you use that all on the app? Do you have that on your phone?
Yeah, so that runs through. There's 2 apps.
Okay.
There's one that runs through the BM500 Bluetooth there, so that tells you all the information on your batteries. And then there's another app that's hooked up to the inverter charger, which I'm putting down because it's underneath me at the moment, which tells you what percentage of the inverter you are actually using, how much power you are, because if you're getting near that limit, you want to start backing things off, because
You're kind of spoilt now, aren't you? How you're not going to go back to a swag anytime soon.
No.
What's probably your favourite features of a luxury caravan like this?
Space.
Yeah.
The fact that I can run basically anything I want.
Yeah. So convenience.
Yeah, so I can get my
space.
coffees. I can have the Starlink plugged in if we're needing internet.
Well, that's the thing too, because I run a business when I travel, so Starlink is massively important, and even this you can kind of fit all your things where you need to put them. You could have it set up all the time, but you're running the Facebook group. You're monitoring that. You've got to be in that daily. So
yeah, well, we've basically got all admin who've been at the Big Red Bash
together. So you've actually kind of got it.
Someone's got to be able to access to.
Yeah, when you've got 20,000 plus members, you need to be across.
Everyone's pretty well behaved, but
yeah, I know, but still, you've got to be across it. Yeah. So what else do you love? So space, convenience, luxury.
Is there anything else? Well, I haven't had any issues. It's back at MDC today, but I've just popped in for a visit, basically.
We just parked out the front, basically, saying good day to everyone.
Go in, give myself a workshop tour, say good day to the guys, and then you came out with this idea. So
I did. I was like, we're not going to let you get away without doing it. And we're actually going to get you to make a couple of videos for us too. So look out for those. There's going to be you're going to do a couple of hands-on instructional videos on how all the things you were saying before, which I struggle with. It was actually how to make it all work and run and operate, which is fantastic. Because I guess the more that you know your van and you know how it works and operates, like the battery system and the solar, and understand it all, the better the experience is going to be, because you can troubleshoot things yourself.
Yeah, things that make it difficult, you have one small problem, which causes another problem, which causes another problem, and then you start visualising problems Whereas it may be, I mean, it may not always be, but it may be just a simple fix.
You know what I love? I'll give you guys a plug. That's where your Facebook group is amazing, the owners group, is that, and I see it daily, is that if you are out and about on the road and you do have something that is an issue, you might not understand how to read the app. You might not understand what you were talking about, the different ampages, and did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
You know, and then you can put that into the group and people will come back to you, like you and a lot of the other owners who are very passionate about it and can give you a good answer and sort of help you out and troubleshoot.
There's someone always there. I think I've said it to you before.
24/7.
Yeah.
You guys are night owls.
Can be. But,
And also links on there too a lot too, which is the MDC warranty
links on
guide.
there. Steve's on there.
Steve Zammett's on there. Very helpful information.
Yeah, so a lot of the MDC staff are on there to help out for the more technical things that we may not. I mean, so this is a prototype. There's been a lot of changes made for the production model. I'm not over every single change that's been made, because they can be made instantly. Something can change tomorrow due to whatever reason, and MDC staff are the best for that one. But majority of your answers you'll be able to get out of other owners. A lot of the systems are the same. And so it's a handy tool for everybody, I suppose you put it. That
it is. It's a resource, really. It's a wonderful resource. And what I love about it are the friendships that are coming out of it. And we're going to interview a lot more people in the podcast series, people that I've met personally when we've gone out and done trips together, but people that you can meet online as well. And so, you know, I'll be leaving from here, heading out to the Big Red Bash on my own out of Brisbane, and I'll be able to put into the group and say, who else is leaving? Is there anybody that wants to go on convoy? Because being a solo female traveller, that's important for me. And I know that there'll be people that'll come up and just be like, oh my God, I'm leaving by myself too. Let's do this together. You know, it's an incredible resource.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I've come down here from Cairns.
Yeah.
Camped at Notch Point with Mandy, Rowley, B and Chris, who, B and Chris have just picked up their new van. They were heading back. Mandy and Rowley live near there, so we just thought,
let's meet.
Let's just meet. And then, then there's another meet taking place down near Grafton.
Yeah. Just
so
a lazy, how many hundred?
I'm already a third of the way there. Why not keep going?
How many hundreds of kilometres did you just drive?
I think I'm currently at 1,800. So I've got another 400 odd to go.
Just you and Lily?
Yep.
Yeah.
Two of us.
How do you go driving? And that's a good question. What do you tow this with? And do you have any towing tips actually when you're getting up into a more sizable van? Because I know that can intimidate people.
Basically, I've got a 200 series Land Cruiser. It is fairly modified. Basically, there's not anything that you can get that mine doesn't have.
But you don't need, can I just say, you probably can do it with a stock standard as well.
You can. I mean, it all comes down to what you do. I've modified mine for the purpose I use it for. So I do quite a bit of off-roading. Although not as much of late.
I've seen you drag this thing through some weird places.
Yeah.
It goes there. Like it does a good job towing this.
Confidence building. I mean, I just dragged B and Chris over the top of Notch Point over the hill. They all looked at me and said, you really want to go over that? It's like, once you do it, you'll have the confidence to go that next step.
That's good to know.
And know your limits.
Yeah.
Don't cross your limit.
So what? Yeah. So is that one of your towing? Because I see some people ask interesting things in groups. What's a good towing tips from you?
Once you know your vehicle, get to know your vehicle first. And once you hook the van up to it, have it set up correctly, know your weights, get the correct table weight, the correct axle weights. I mean, it gets complicated. There are weight.
Give me your simple tips.
Drive to your ability. Don't go past it.
Yeah.
So if you're not comfortable, slow it down.
Yeah.
And
What would you sit on when you're driving, and make it legal? What would you be sitting on when you're driving and towing this, and you're on just a pretty decent road?
Well, I'll sit on the speed limit.
Yeah. So you feel confident sitting on the speed limit. There's no sway. They just sit.
No,
I found that, like when I towed, I had the little XT19, which is a completely different caravan, but sometimes I forgot it was on the back, to be really honest. Like these things are engineered really well. So
obviously this one's a bit heavier, and then you get wind resistance as well.
But you still feel like you can drive it.
No, it's fine, and I mean my car's built to do it. So,
and you're experienced.
So it's it's a very comfortable van to tow, and I don't notice that much difference between this and my old 17.
Oh, that's good to know.
No tandem axle and very stable. So
Yeah.
you get the occasional blow from a truck that goes past or something or other, but
But you're sort of expecting that. You
Yeah.
know it's going to happen.
yeah, you preempt it.
Yeah.
So
So you're off to Grafton this weekend for the tag-along trip that we're doing with MDC. Steve Zammett's organising that.
yes,
Where's it at? It's supposed to be beautiful.
the Gorge, which is just out of Grafton. It's
Yeah.
it's not national park, but I think it's someone's property, and it's all sort of nature reserve
Beautiful.
on the Clarence River.
How many members have we got going to that?
I saw there was about 20 vehicles, maybe.
That's really excellent. So these are basically just tag-along trips where you can drive to it, go in convoy, go out there, but then camp and hang out together. But it's really a great way to build your confidence as well if you want to get to know
well,
your
this
vans
one's more
better.
of a meet-up. So Steve does some tag-alongs, organised tag-alongs as well. This one is get yourself there. But in saying that, if multiple people are coming from the same area,
Yeah, you would
they put on the
organise
group,
it.
oh, I'm coming from Coffs Harbour.
Yeah.
Is anyone else? And then you may be able to meet up and run through together. But the main aim of this one here, I think, is just a meet up and spend the Anzac long weekend together.
That's so nice. And what have you got planned for the future trips?
Birdsville's coming up again.
Yeah, so just to put it, so explain what we do every year with your members group.
Every year. So it started back in 2018. I sent an invite out to Vaughan and Steve.
Yeah.
Not sure how far you want to go into depth in this, but anyway, it
As deep as you can go.
ended up sitting around the fire, and I came up with the hashtag MDC Paddock.
Yeah, and I love that
And then
name. It's stuck.
through the year on the back of it there. So it was MDC
Yeah.
Paddock 2019.
Yeah.
Nothing was decided then, but I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and
Yeah.
every post about the Big Red Bash, it was MDC Paddock 2019. Fortunately, MDC sponsored that year, so it turned into quite a big event.
Yeah, with premium access to the front of the...
Yeah, it was all, basically the whole front section was a display area, and then camping back behind that, and group campfire
Yeah.
as such. So that's how that started.
Yeah.
Then 2020 messed things up for a lot of people,
Everybody,
and there was no
COVID.
bash. And then 2021, so I'd approached Greg Donovan,
Who runs the Big Red Bash?
Big Red Bash founder and organizer, and basically said, look, this is where we are,
Yeah.
and this is how many people I can get.
Yeah.
Can we
What can we do?
do something?
Yeah, and we've just interviewed him recently. If you want to go back and watch that one, that's actually... and he talks about you very fondly.
Yeah,
And you got a nice relationship.
And Delta.
And Delta, I know. That's an in-joke. You got to go back and watch that episode to see that. That's episode 4.
Yes. So, basically, came up with this idea. I think at that stage we were supposed to have about 70 odd,
Yeah.
but 21 New South Wales border got closed again. So anyone south of the border or that didn't get through from Victoria or South Australia weren't permitted to enter.
Just
So
couldn't
I
come.
think we ended up with about 50 odd people, and
Which is huge.
it's still a
During
good
the
group.
middle of COVID lockdowns, that's a really big response.
Yeah.
So that's 50 vehicles.
Yeah, so back then we weren't in the position we were in last time. We were a little bit further back.
Yeah.
2022, we moved a little bit further forward again, and
Edging our way forward.
I can't remember the exact numbers we had, but somewhere around that 60 mark.
That's a lot. That's a lot of vehicles.
2020.
A lot of people in those vehicles.
Yeah. 2023 we had 90,
90.
96 booked in.
Wow.
But because of the rains and the flooding
Yeah.
and the confusion and people entering on different days, because one of the conditions of what we do is we all arrive together at a predetermined time that creates the least disruptance for the volunteers, basically. So I organise a time, hence why we go in at midday, because midday is sort of their quiet time for people arriving. So, because of the disruption, we lost, trying to think what we lost, about 19 people. So we ended up at 70 was it 77 or something?
Still
rather.
a ton of vehicles for you to coordinate, you know, out there by walkie-talkie basically, and all the stations of lining us all up, going out and convoy with each other, getting to the bash, and then going in and then just going straight into your spot, because you can't go out there and window shop for the best spot. You just got to go into where you're given.
Yeah.
So it's no mean feat what you pull off. And what you
Yeah, so
achieve.
I got a bit of an inside look at it last year.
Yeah.
Because I had to go on, we had volunteers within our group as well, so they were running out of petrol for their generators and and other bits and pieces, because they had to go in early as well because of the weather conditions. It wasn't just a 5-day event for them. They had to go in 2 days prior to that, which was a week, and because there's no solar, they ran their petrol dry.
Yeah, because there was no sun. Wow.
So, I messaged the organisers and said, look, we've got so-and-so here, do you mind if I go and drop some fuel off and just have a look at the area before I come in with everyone, so I've got a bit of a heads up.
So the moral to the story is you're connected and you're really there to help the owners and give them the best experience possible, because I've just turned up and got put into the line and just got there and got a beautiful spot near the front and went and had a beautiful 5 days camping at Birdsville. So, you know, and that's, I guess it's just seeing behind the scenes of what's what it's actually like doing it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
No problem. And
Tell me, before I let you go, is there what's your favourite thing, I guess, about the MDC owners community, and I guess, you know, the experiences that you've had and the memories you've got in this caravan? What are some of the highlights, things that, you know, really make it so memorable and special for you and for Lydia?
Firstly, friendship.
Yeah.
So I think when, in the early days of the owners group there, I probably knew maybe 2 people. I had 2 friends in it.
Wow.
If I look up how many friends I've got in there now, it's up. I think it's up near 80 odd people.
And like real friends. I'm just going to tell you now, Daniel's not a Facebook man who just hangs out on Facebook and just makes random friends. Like, these are real people.
These are people that I go camping with. Yes.
They're in your phone, and they're people that you could go up to in the street and talk to.
Yeah. I've stayed at their house. I've been camping with them. We've had barbecues
friends
together. It's meet up for drinks.
Doing what you're doing this week.
Yeah,
You know, it's why you're in Brisbane right now.
Yeah, so it's that'd be the first thing, is the friendship, the support.
I'm just going to butt in for a second too. I rocked up to work today here in the MDC office, and all the guys in the warranty section are standing there in their orange MDC Owners T-shirts. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're all, Daniel's coming in today, you know, and I'm like, wow, nobody else in this company gets the same treatment. Like, this is the mark this is the impression that you give to people as well, you know. Like, they wanted to show you that respect, and it's so what you're just talking about. I just wanted to repeat that.
They're all good guys, and they help support through the group and that as well. And
that's the whole family thing we talk about at MDC, and it's true.
Yeah.
It really, when
so
people
they're
do
employed
that,
by MDC, but
they're your mates.
Yeah,
you come in and the red carpet's rolled out. It's unbelievable. Anyway, continue. The support.
Yeah, so the support as well. That if something does go wrong, I can go back to 2019 where nothing happened with my van, but I lost a rear wheel off my car.
Oh wow, that's a problem.
No, which was good fun. I was in the middle of Winton, between Winton and Hewenden.
Oh my God,
which is, there's not a lot of phone service out there. That. Fortunately, it happened just on the edge of phone service, so I was able to get a message through.
Yeah.
So I messaged Steve Zammit.
Steve Zammit, yeah.
Because I knew they were coming out from Brisbane.
He's our customer advocate and a long time. What is he? The mayor of the paddock out at the bash?
Mayor of the paddock. So it's...
and what did he do for you?
Picked up a new brake rotor.
Yeah.
As he was coming through Dalby. So they had,
my
they
God.
had
So
one
they
in
were
stock.
already on the road.
They were already on the road.
Wow.
So I'd made a call through to see who had parts on their path.
Yeah.
And so when they got into Dalby, they went straight to Toyota, picked up a new brake rotor. They didn't have any wheel studs available.
Yeah.
So Mandy and Rolly were in Longreach.
Oh my God. These are other members of the group we just spoke about.
Yeah. So
They're episode 1.
yeah, so they went chasing around trying to get me some wheel studs and nuts.
Are you serious? I didn't know this story. This is nice.
So, and they were coming through Winton.
Yeah.
And I did get permission, and well, I'd spoken to the mechanic, and he sort of was going to let me drive out with 3 brakes, and we were going to modify it and do the changes in Birdsville, but he thought better of it
Yeah.
after a night's sleep and came back and said, I can't let you leave like that. So I was like, all right, so how do I get these parts off Steve to Winton when they're not coming to Winton?
Yeah, wow.
So fortunately, I think there was an MDC employee in Winton at the time who
Seriously?
let me drive their vehicle
Fine then.
to meet up with Steve in Charleville
Oh my God.
to pick up the parts I required and drive back to Winton overnight. And by 9 o'clock the next morning, we were back on the road, 100% operating. And
That's so amazing. What a nice story.
so,
I didn't know that story.
It's things like that people in the group will go out of their way to help you. You get a message to them. And I think Mandy and Rolly, I didn't actually know them at the time.
Yeah, wow.
They just saw her on Facebook and went,
that you needed a hand.
We can help.
Isn't that amazing?
So,
I can vouch for that. I've had my own experiences like that too with the group. People just fall over themselves to help you.
Yeah, so it's good having that network of people around the country that if you flick out a message on a group that
nice.
can help.
Fantastic.
I'm trying to think what else. It's probably about it.
Man, a few words. I can't believe.
What was the question again?
I know. I can't believe I've had you talking this long. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Daniel. A lot of you guys probably see Daniel a lot in the group and stuff, so it's really nice when he can come and speak to you. And we'll interview you again, no doubt, because we're actually doing a bit of a trip afterwards with a whole bunch of people out. We won't say where we're going because it's like our own trip, but it's going to be a really great trip. And that's only come about for me. I'm so grateful because I've made friends with all you guys through the group over the years, and it's totally turned my whole social life around because I'm a solo female and hard for me to go camping. I do a lot of it on my own. Last year I did like 2 months by myself and met up with Mandy and Rolly a bit. But this time I'll be going in convoy with you guys and going to areas that I couldn't go by myself, and it just so grateful, so amazing. So thank you.
Yes, looking forward to that one too. So
yeah, it's going to be amazing. So anyway, thanks so much.
Not a problem.
We will. If you've got any questions, make sure you write. You can always ask questions down in the bottom here of where you're seeing this. And Daniel, you're always all over it. You'll answer them, or I'll answer them. Get in touch. Go join the MDC OFFGRID Owners group. Look for it. We'll put the links in there as well. And they can ask questions on there. You don't actually have to own an MDC. You can be just thinking about it and join the group.
Yeah, basically. So, we've got a whole range in there. As I said, I can't remember our exact number, but up over 20,000
pushing
members
21.
now. Some have, well, most have. Some are looking. Some are just interested.
Exactly.
Others have got other campers that...
Just join the group anyway.
because... they do get the support there, even though...
it's all in the spirit.
It's, well, some are ex-owners. Some are new owners again. So,
Fantastic. Thanks so much. It's been so great. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Thanks, guys. Hope you really enjoyed this episode. Make sure if you find this information really helpful that you actually like it and share it and pass it on to people and put feedback in, because that really helps us to create more content for you to get it out to you. And if you want to give me some suggestions or suggest it in the group as well with Daniel, he's more than happy to sit online and take all your inquiries, and just let us know what you want to hear about and we'll bring that to you.